You're watching ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
Welcome back. We turn now to national politics. The CEO of TikTok in the hot seat today as members of Congress grilled him during a hearing.
The app facing pressure from lawmakers as Congress considers banning it here in the United States. Washington correspondent Basil John live in the nation's capital for us tonight. And Basil, how did the CEO respond under this pressure?
Well, Glenn, Emily, the hearing lasted about 5 hours, and the CEO made a case for why he believes that the app should not be banned. And he tried to assure many doubtful lawmakers that when it comes to the country's user data, there is no risk.
Welcome to the most bipartisan committee in Congress.
Thursday, lawmakers united to grill the CEO of TikTok over concerns about data security and user safety for the 150 million Americans on the app.
Has ByteDance spied on American citizens?
I don't think that spying is the right way to describe it.
TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is based in Beijing. Many government officials warn that means the Chinese Communist Party could potentially access Americans' personal information.
I have seen no evidence that the Chinese government has access to that data. They have never asked us. We have not provided.
Well, you know what?
I
find that actually preposterous.
To calm those fears, TikTok says it plans to start storing Americans' data in the U.S. But most lawmakers in the hearing weren't satisfied with CEO Shou-Zi Chew's answers.
You're going to continue to gather data. You're going to continue to sell data. You're going to continue to do all these things and continue to be under the aegis of the Communist Party.
But Chew argued the challenges TikTok faces are the same as other social media platforms.
With a lot of respect, American social companies don't have a good track record with data privacy and user security.
And not every member of Congress wants to see the app die.
We can keep TikTok, we could protect freedom of speech, and we could deal with the privacy concerns at the same time.
Now, a U.S. ban of the app would be unprecedented, and it's not clear as to how the government would enforce this. Reporting live in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Thank you, Basil. Well, in local politics now, Governor Spencer Cox signing 2 bills putting new limits on social media companies. SB 152 requiring social media companies to verify the age of any Utahn who creates a social media account. Anyone under the age of 18 must get permission from a parent or guardian. HB 311 regulates social media sites from displaying ads to minors and creates a path for parents to sue platforms. Lawmakers saying Utah is the first state to impose such restrictions.
I am a small government guy. I don't like government intervention into our homes and our businesses, but that this was too critical and this was way too important. And I could see the need for this.
Social media companies have until next March to comply with the new laws. The governor saying this is important to help protect the mental health of our young people.
In Uintah County, people are being encouraged to stock up on water in case several water lines get washed out in the spring runoff. The main water distribution lines for Ashley Valley Water and Sewer, Mazer and Vernal water districts run across the Ashley Creek located in the Ashley National Forest. Uintah County says they don't know how much runoff will flow into the creek this spring, causing concerns that those water lines could actually get washed out, leaving communities at risk of having no access to water. That's why county leaders are encouraging people to store water bottles now.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
All right, we have had a healthy dose of wet weather this season.
Yeah, we will be put to the test when that runoff really starts flowing, Alana.
True. Record-breaking snowpack. We're knocking on the door for an all-time record. I'm going to show you what I mean. We start with that live view of Alta, where the snow and snow showers have continued today. We are unsettled. Okay. They are having their 3rd snowiest season on record ever at Alta. And as we look at snowpack throughout the state, we show you these healthy percents to give you an idea of how much snow is really up in the mountains. But this is a big deal because right now we're sitting at 25.9 inches for Sweet. That's snow water equivalent. It's how we measure our snowpack. The highest number we've ever had, 26 inches. So yes, we are hours away from breaking the all-time snowpack statewide record. And that is big because the year we're challenging is 1983, and Utahns, You hear me on this. That was the flood year. Now we've got to see what happens because the weather pattern is going to be the one that decides whether or not we flood. We need a gradual warm up as opposed to a rapid one. As we look at our top snowpack years, showing you the top 5, but now we are closing in on that top spot, but 82, 84, 2011, and 1997. 05 was a big one for the Southwest Desert as well. Now that SWE, or snow water equivalent, is how we measure snowpack. If you melted it all down, the depth of the water, that's what that is, and that's why 26 inches is big. We could not only tie the record, we could break it and go further as we've got more storms on the way. All that snow directly impacts our drought monitor. Thursday, new day, new data. So this is the newest information that comes with the drought monitor. Only 1% of the state in extreme drought. Check out eastern Utah. 7% of Utah no longer facing drought conditions. That is huge. As we take a look at those other areas, including dry, moderate, and severe, we have made significant gains, especially in northern Utah, and we want to keep doing that. So a wet spring will help with that, but also any accumulation as we go with these next couple of storms also helps. So we'll check back in next week. Speaking of wet weather, there it is in Lehigh. Yeah, we've got wet pavement out there in Utah County. The cloud cover kind of giving you an idea that the showers that are popping up in Utah County are delivering just bursts of moderate rain out there, but we're keeping our eye on this line of storms here. Storm Tracker radar shows how that's progressing over the lake, could impact the Wasatch Front. Thunderstorm activity is expected for the entire state. It was definitely a risk as we made it through today. As we look towards central Utah and the southern end of the Wasatch Front, Nephi, Payson, all tapping into this, as well as Provo and Draper. So active conditions, nasty little cell outside of I-80 and over towards Tooele County. Rush Valley also dealing with that. There's Lehigh. Not a surprise. We show that Cameron, they've got wet weather, and then over Utah Lake. Jumping down south, we've got snow in the mountains and then showers. We saw some towering cumulus on the cameras down there in St. George. I want to get out of the way so you can see Moab. Price also seeing this, and Vernal and Duchesne seeing some snow showers this evening. That is going to dwindle because these are really fueled by some daytime heating. But once we do get rid of these showers, we are going to see things starting to change for our next big storm. It's another winter storm in spring. Have you heard that before? Temperatures in the 40s along the Wasatch Front, 50 in Moab, 55 in St. George. We are below average, but we're going to be dropping about 20 degrees below the norm for the weekend. I know it's an unseasonably cold storm that's on the way. FutureCast walks us through the timing. Here we are this evening. West Desert holds on to the potential of some moisture, but then here comes the front. After midnight, our winter alerts go into effect at midnight, and then we see this front coming through. It's organized, and we get the snow levels dropping to the valley floor. Look at that band. This is 7 a.m. So this is your Friday morning commute. You're going to be dealing with wintry conditions. Sloppy spring snow will be out there. That includes in Cache Valley, the Ogden Valley, into Davis County, Salt Lake, Utah County, and all the way down towards Manti, Ephraim, and even into Delta. So this system could even bring some snow to the I-70 corridor. It stops short down there in Washington County, Iron County, maybe a few flakes. Here we are by 11 a.m. and we can see the core of that moisture tracking east, but northwest flow behind the front means we're going to be cold and we're going to see snow showers continuing. So unsettled for our Friday and into our Saturday, where the snow potential holds steady, and we're talking accumulations here. Yeah, 1 to 5 for the valleys, depending on where you are. Again, this is northern and central Utah. Bench is doing better. Mountain valleys at 4 to 12, anywhere from 10 to 24 in the high country. 6 to 18 for most mountains, but 10 to 24 in the cottonwoods. It's another 2 feet. So when we talk about that snowpack record, consider it broken, folks. We're going into it tomorrow morning. 30s for the highs tomorrow. Usually we're in the mid to upper 50s, so that's chilly. 52 in Moab, 55 in St. George, but those 30s giving you an idea that that cold air coming in with the northwest flow, it means business. It's not joking around. St. George has the slightest chance of maybe a shower, but then dry conditions. But as we head into the middle of next week, there's another storm. Stop me if you've heard that before. Taking a look at the Wasatch Front, we've got wet weather, snow. We've got snow for your Friday. I don't know. I feel like I expect the tomatoes at this point, but snow for our Friday, and then into next week, we get more moisture coming through. But daytime has 20 degrees below normal in the 30s for the weekend.
That's good when it comes to that runoff, though, right?
That is good. We want to stay cool and gradually warm up. That's really the weather pattern that's going to decide if we have a high flood risk or a low one. A rapid warm up means trouble, and we've seen that in southern
I'll throw tomatoes at you if you want.
I'm expecting.
I have the technology.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. Thank you so much, Alana.